Lewis here again representing LaunchPad Consultancy, and we are entering into our second segment with these awesome ladies. We have Candice, Clarke of the IZAYA movement, we have Denise, Jones-Flelix of AWLAP Design Concepts, Cassia, Marina from CDB, House of CDB. Tell me, am I saying it correctly?
Yes, you're saying it
House
correctly.
of CDB.
House of CDB.
Yes, and we have Abby, formerly known as Abianka of Benies Rental Services. And here in this segment, we're really going to be sharing our hearts as we chat about challenges. Challenges as women in business, challenges in business, simply because, you know, so many times persons who are wanting to get into business, whether you're aspiring or you're new, you know, you look at others in industry and you ask yourself, how am I going to get there? You know, there's such a broad divide between where you are and what you see, and sometimes we don't know how to get there because the image looks so perfect. But we're here to tell you it's not as perfect as it looks, and you can do it. So we're just sharing a little bit with you about challenges and looking at how we overcame those challenges so you too can be inspired to overcome and really get out there and fulfill and maximize your potential, that you can have a fulfilling life as you pursue purpose. So ladies, which one of you are jumping out? I'm not even calling a name. We're volunteering this time. We're talking about challenges in business. So let's talk.
I would start.
Yes.
I would say even before we get to challenges, you would have to actually start the business. And for most of us, that is a challenge in itself. So let me give you my brief history very quickly. I started business because I got married into a printer and I borrowed a laptop.
Right.
So there was no finances needed there to start the business. And Dr. Parali, I heard him on the radio and he was talking about businesses that you can start without having any money. And being a painter, washing cars, all of these things you can do without even starting business. And when you get started, you're going to need to get a name. And for me, my husband, he would usually say, I love you a whole lot of plenty. And because my business is so personal to me, I went with that name. So that's how we got the name, a whole lot of plenty. So
Yes.
it's all a design concept, because on your form to write all of that, it's just wrong. so I started business with excitement. It's like, I'm going to design, I'm going to get things done. And you know, even though I started off without having any funds, I soon realized that I needed funds to go forward, because after you design this wonderful card or flyer, you needed to be able to print it. And instead of having the customer have to find somewhere else, it now came upon me to be able to provide a service. And you know, this little printer could only do so much.
Yes.
So for me, I would say a challenge would have been finances, because I started business without any money. But I soon found that I needed money because I need to pay rent, I need to pay bills, all these other things as well. And it was tough. And then, you know, you would have heard people talk about you don't go to the bank, and you know, because you don't want to have these debts. But what I really did, because graphic design is my personal skills which I'm going to reproduce. Yes. So it means to do a design, you will have to pay me.
Yes.
So it's now that I'm designing something and then I'm going to be paid for it. Yes. So I now had to manage the money, the income that came in.
Yes.
So with that now I had to budget and put things in place so that I will always be able to get material and be able to get inks for the toner and thing as well. So for me, I would say it became a challenge to be able to pay the bills and to do everything that I needed to do. But it didn't stop me, because there are times that you can take payments up front. So somebody comes to you, especially if you don't know that person, they'll make a down payment. So you already have starting capital. And with that, you can now go ahead and maybe you'll be able to do a job for somebody else. So you have jobs in a queue lined up waiting for you. So even though finances would be a big issue for plenty of us, I would say don't let that stop us.
Yeah.
Get over it. And you know, your family can support you as well. Families can invest into your business, and you let them know how they're going to get returned.
Yes.
So, because if you invest $100, you don't want to get back $100.
Yes.
You would like to get more. So if you lay out a plan and show them, listen, your $100 coming in today, but 2 weeks from now or a month from now, you can get $200. They will jump on board with you.
Yes, yes.
So for me, I would say finances would have been a challenge in the business itself. So I had to learn how to manage, I had to learn how to do budgeting, I had to learn how to do pricing, which is key towards getting your business up and running and being profitable.
Yeah, that's great, and that's a really important point as well. It's important, I really believe, no matter what stage of business development you're at, but especially if you're now starting, then where there's little and you really have to stretch that little to do a whole lot.
Yes.
Budgeting and understanding those principles are important. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, ladies, challenges, we're chatting.
I guess I'm next.
Yes.
Okay, so challenges for me, I would say, is support. She spoke on, she has a lot of support, there's family, etc., etc. For me, support has always been a challenge. I think I came into this world with that as a disadvantage because my mom, she left me at 6 months old to go and study. I was raised by my grandmother, never met my father. So it's basically been me and my grandmother. Rest her soul, she passed away 5 years now. Today is actually the anniversary of her passing. So it has always been just me and her, and now it's just me and the kids. So my challenge is balancing business, getting everything done, and just balancing motherhood with business by yourself.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm working on, I have started building a team. I have a virtual assistant that helped me, and my next step is to have a creative assistant that will help me with the design work as well. But last year was a very big turning point for me. The kids' dad was in their lives up to that point, and I have grown and changed a lot. So my advice to women who are afraid to follow their dreams or they're in a difficult relationship, if it's negative, you should do what you need to do to fill your life with positivity. When hardship hit actually is when I actually started to take the business more seriously and not treat it like a hobby. Like, yes, I registered it in 2013, 2014, because I was also employed for a while at another agency in St. Clair, but eventually I left there to focus on the business, but I was comfortable. Right? So I didn't feel like I needed to grind as hard as I did, and when things changed, I met a business coach, I became acquainted with Adana and her wonderful group, and my business had made a complete 180 between this time last year to now. Like, my business is much better place, and it's just to say that so much can happen in a few months.
Yes.
Like, I've been doing this for how many years, so I have the experience, I have the talent, but in terms of making it a sustainable business, it becomes sustainable in a year. In under a year actually. And it was in my darkest moment is when my business thrived. Because it forced me to have to try, because there was nowhere else to go besides up, and I had to be resourceful. And coming down to the end of 2016, eventually I had to cut the negativity loose because it was becoming very intense, where too often it became violent. And since then, there has been more, you can see a change in myself. Like, you might see me now, but I was smaller than this, believe it or not, but it's just amazing how much could change when you let go of negativity.
Yes.
Just a little bit of a few months I've gained 10 pounds. So I just want to encourage women to just let negativity go.
Yes.
And believe in yourself, as she said. You have to believe in yourself, because when you have negativity around you and they you just don't feel confident in yourself.
Yeah. That's great. That is really great. Because what it does, it goes to show us that self is an important component of business.
Yes.
And sometimes we neglect the idea of self because we're so focused on business, skill, money. But if the kids, But if it is that we don't first deal with self and have ourselves aligned, then really functioning in a way that is productive and have healthy mindsets and all that, then our businesses won't thrive, Because even at a meeting I had with a client recently, I was making the point, a reminder really that I really believe our businesses is an extension of who we are. So if you have positivity going on the inside, your business is going to be this beautiful expression. And the fruits of that dysfunctional area in our life is going to show through the business. So if we have problem with time management, no matter how much we try to fake it, we would not meet deadlines with clients because it's a challenge. So I love your point, I love you sharing, because as individuals we do need to work on us. And we're chatting, so challenges. Challenges,
Single and just, all I had to focus on was really this business. So we had the launch and I was so excited because I was seeing the future ahead. I was seeing, in 5 years' time I'm going to be this, that, the other, and my business is going to be so far. I mean, I had the whole plan laid out because everybody says make a plan for your life, have a five-year plan and go at it. So everything was done and laid out. And during that time, about 3 years or 2 years after starting the business, I met my husband and we got married and we had a baby. And literally, what was once a sprint became a slow crawl. It was what could have taken me 5 minutes to just whoosh, 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 and you need an ad, I can give you that tomorrow. Now it is like, let's just tame this down and realize that this is not going to happen tomorrow. So everything just slowed down because now I had a husband, now I had a son. And so I found myself torn between trying to manage being a wife and being a mother to this little boy who just had all this energy and wanted so much attention. And sometimes I would literally fall asleep to try to do some work, and as soon as I sit in front of that computer and click, he would wake up. And so it was such a struggle. It was. I felt as though I had to decide. Should I be a wife? Should I be I couldn't decide if I wanted to be a wife or but should I be a wife and mother, or should I be a business owner? Like, which one? And so that was a real struggle for me. And there came a point where I just said, you know what, I just can't do this. And so I literally put my business aside and I just put all my energies into being a wife and into being a mother. Until I started to feel like, you know what, there was so much more to me. There was so much inside of me that I could have done, and I needed to find a way to be able to do them both. I needed to find a way to fulfill what God was stirring up inside of me and still contribute and still be that support to my husband and be that mother to my child. And while I applaud all the housewives and everything, I was still a housewife. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to just throw my son in a corner. I'm going to work from home. It was always my desire to work from home. And that in itself was another challenge, because initially when I started the business, I had my own office. So I would close my door, I would lock my door, I would turn on my AC, and I would work for hours. Now I had somebody knocking on that door. Mommy, I need something to eat. Mommy, my crayon broke. Mommy, I can't find. Oh my gosh. So that door couldn't be locked anymore. You understand? Now I had a child running up and down. And so it took me having to say, God help me. Help me to find a balance in this. So it took a lot of prayer, it took a lot of time management. It took me getting up earlier and going to sleep later. It took me saying, all right, tell you what, on these days I'm going to spend such and such hours towards work, and on the other days I'm going to have to dial back a little bit on work and focus on something else. You know, it took me having to sit down with my husband and say, okay, here what babe. I mean, this is part of what I know God is calling me to do. So how are we going to work together to get this done? And so I realized that when I neglected him and when I neglected my son, work became harder. Because now while I was trying to work, I had to think about, okay, you know what, he's going to come home and not have food to eat. They're going to be at next time. You understand? Or, you know what, my son going to wake up and Jen, close that, wash this, and wash that, it happen. You understand? So I couldn't even focus on work because I wasn't focusing on other things. So when I came up with a strategy on how I was going to balance family and work, everything started to kind of work in sync and everything started to flow. And when my husband realized, okay, he was not getting neglected, he started to help me. He started to stay up late hours with me. He started to go out on shoots with me. He started to go to meetings with me sometimes. Before, when I was not putting so much emphasis on him, I mean, I would literally have to carry my son into business meetings. And imagine you're sitting down trying to have a meeting with a client, and you have this child there who just waiting to be fed, and it just was not working out.
Yeah.
But when he realized that I was trying, when he realized that I was working on both, there was so much more support, and so business became part of the family. You understand? Business became that. And just as my business started to take off and everything, I got pregnant again. So I had a 3-year-old and a newborn. And so that posed another challenge. But because the strategy was already in place, and because we were working on this together, this second child became so much easier.
Yes.
So much easier. And so now we work on our business together as a family. We actually have 2 businesses. He has his own. And so we work, everything that we do now is now a collective drive. How do we as a family get this business up and running?
Yes.
You know, and because we put so much emphasis now on family, it, as I said, it shows. Because I'm so much more happier, it shows in my work. You know, I'm able to produce better results. I'm able to give clients, you know, more than they ask for. I'm able to surpass expectations because now I'm a happier person. I'm a more satisfied, more content, more developed person, and it shows so much more now in what I produce.
That's excellent. And you know, at the heart, I'm listening, and the heart that I'm hearing really comes down to sacrifice on one level. Because I think sometimes, again, whether some people make business look easy or whatever it is, people think that business is convenient. And I think a lot of people think that business is the easy way out instead of having to go to 8 to 4, now realizing that you have to double as hard, longer hours, and if you're not willing to sacrifice, as you said, get up earlier, go to bed later. As I say, do what you have to do. Do whatever you have to do. Because it reminds me that because my husband is in business as well, and there are times we would leave home 6 o'clock in the morning. So we're on road. I'm on road by 6:30. That's my normal day start at 6:30 in the morning. Office time starts at 9. Then he would have some project that's going on in the night. He could perhaps pick me up over 6:30 at night, take me to his work site, and I'm chopping with my laptop. And we're there sometimes until 1 to the next morning. So we get back home between 2:30 to 3, get an hour and a half sleep, and mind you, we're back up at 5:30 because our time to leave home is at 6. And it doesn't matter whether we get home some hour in the morning or we get home 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we have a leisurely nap, it doesn't matter. Our responsibilities are responsibilities. And we're not going to call a client and say, sorry, so sorry, I was feeling sleepy. I couldn't make. No, because people do that, to be honest, right? Oh, well, you know, work late last night, so I couldn't really make it to such or whatever. But I think it's the hungry people, the people who sacrifice, the one who are ready to say, listen, I have made a commitment, or this is the quality of my dedication to my service. Those are the ones who are going to be called back again. Because my thing, you're not going to say Alina didn't show up and didn't show up on time. Like, time is so important to me. And so I hear that, and I love that story of sacrifice, because it really reminds everyone how important it is to not be so comfortable in your own convenience, that we don't put out that professionalism. Yeah? Yes. Everyone share the challenge? Not yet? Yes, Abby, challenge, Abby.
But I am sitting here listening to all these powerful stories, right? And when you say challenge, I somehow drew a blank, and still probably drawing a blank, because it's so hard for me to articulate.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always had support, right? For me, I've always been the excitable one, the jolly one, you know, and the one who likes to dress nice and be out there, right? Very extroverted. But one of the major challenges that I've had in my business is that even though I have support, and when I say support, I mean I initially had financial support, but I had no capital to start.
Yeah.
I got financial support from my husband and my mother-in-law, right? They believed in business even more than I did, and they did it more as a gift to me, it's not as if I didn't have to pay them back, right? And when I mentioned before becoming instant mom, right? I got married September 2012, and he has kids from previous relationship, right? And 3 of them, they were really young at the time. At the time they would have been 8, 6, and 5. Yeah. Right now they are 13, 11, and 9. Right? 2 older girls and a boy. And those 2 girls have SEA right now, preparing for SEA this year. So he is someone who, even though he's awesome, he's an excellent husband. I really don't have a complaint about this man. He really is God-given, right? But this year we would be married for 5 years, and I've known him since I was 17. I've known him for half my life. And when we began courting this time around, he has been gone from our relationship. Physically gone, because he has a green card. So that requires him coming for 6 months, leaving for 6 months. There are times when he has to be gone longer than that. For instance, preparing for our wedding. He was here 1 week before the wedding and was gone 2 weeks after the wedding for a year, right? So within the first year of marriage for me, he wasn't there at all, right? And I knew to myself, and I knew in my heart, that he is someone who God really put in my life. At times I used to be questioning, serious, Lord? Do I really have to endure all of this absence, right? And God really sustained me during that time. It was not easy. There were times I missed him so badly. I say, I do not want a husband who is gone all this time. It's best you stay where is. You understand? I will sort myself out.
Yeah.
But there was a period of time, and I will always remember the date. The 4th of the 4th, 2014. Right? That day, something cataclysmic occurred in the home where the children were living at the time. And it was as a result of that incident where they ended up coming to live with me.
Right.
They had nowhere else to really turn to go. and they couldn't come. Well, funny enough, that very same day was a flight that we were on our way to the airport. He had to leave that very same day when they ended up coming to live with me, right? So it was a shock. It was something that we did not prepare for, but it's something that we were going to do, you know? So it also felt like it was part of the calling as to why we were together in the first place, right? So Instant Mom, 4 to the 4th, 2014. So next month will make it 3 years that they have been with me, right? And they came from a really rough background. So there was a lot of growing pains, so to say, but they have really settled down, and they call me Auntie Abby. I told them, you don't have to call me mommy, you have a mommy already, that's alright, right? So Auntie Abby does everything, right? So the husband is gone most of the time, and I'm still there holding it down. And I work a job where I am gone 10, 12 hours of the day at the job alone. To go to the job alone, one way is an hour and 10 minutes, thereabout. Same thing back. So you're looking at 12, 14 hours out of the house, right? And then coming home, girls have SCA preparation. The little boy, he's considered quote unquote bright, right? So he's running about the place. I know everything, right? And being a pest to the sisters who are trying to get some work done, right? And I have my mother who picks them up from school, and they are the ones who more or less, because they are older now, they're extremely self-sufficient. The only thing they cannot do yet is stew chicken. Right?
Yes.
Right? But they're willing to learn.
Yes.
But one of the things that I wanted to do was to really start doing some baking and offering that with my services.
Yes.
And they are the ones who like to be around me in the kitchen all the time. When are we going to bake? When are we going to do this? So on some of the orders that I would have had before, where I would hire out persons who would supply me with cupcakes and desserts and whatnot. If ever I have an excess left at home, when it's time for school, 3 a day would be missing, and they're not asking me, they're taking it.
Right.
They're taking it, and they're taking it. And I'm like, but nobody is telling me that they're going with, what are they doing? We're carrying it to school and we're selling it.
Hey, listen.
Right, so I'm like, really? Yeah. And they came and they showed me all the money that they made. So I said, your principal and breaks with you for doing that? No. Because I also invested in a little cake pop machine. So the cake coming out in little balls. So I have icing, and then they took it from there and they stick a little lollipop stick in it, and they had a container selling the thing in school and coming back with money. I say, I hope there's gas money for when I come in to pick on them. Right? So they actually, every morning is a ritual when we are in my car, that thank God it's still alive, right? That kind of struggle. But every morning when we go to drop them off, and then I go to work, we always pray every morning. We bless the business and we bless our lives, we bless the father in the States and family down here. But I observe that they really do copy. They're taking example from me, doing all my preparation at home, grinding out, staying up late, always online. I have all my stands in a corner, and they come in and they only peep in and they want to play with it. They say, that's not a toy. Go somewhere. Right? But they actually have some degree of entrepreneurship in themselves. Right? So what their father and I are trying to do now is that at the age that they are at, try to train them now to have that mindset from early.
This is great.
Right?
So to understand, you're saying that a major challenge was instant mom, but definitely in overcoming it, you were really able to lean on family members.
Definitely.
and really have your own mindset when it comes to purpose, even for the things that you didn't plan.
Right.
And even out of that, you now see the beauty where your kids are evolving into mini business people, and it makes it even more meaningful.
Yeah.
So this is so great, and I'm sure that even our viewers can glean a lot out of what was shared. So of course, if you have any questions or you need support, or you yourself as a viewer, you're having challenges and you're not sure how to overcome, and you feel you just need someone to chat with or someone to liaise with, please give us at LaunchPad Consultancy a call. You can call us, you can send us a message via WhatsApp at 2826-105. We're here to support, we're here to make impact, and we're here to encourage you in your entrepreneurial journey. Ladies, thank you again, and thank you for viewing.